Welcome to Embark True North. If you enjoy this content, please like, comment and subscribe. Telekinesis, often referred to as psychokinesis, is the purported ability to move or manipulate objects with the mind alone, without any physical interaction. The concept has fascinated humanity for centuries, appearing in myths, folklore, and more recently in popular culture through books, movies, and television shows. Despite widespread skepticism, a substantial body of anecdotal evidence and scientific exploration has kept the possibility of telekinesis alive in public and academic discourse. This essay delves into the historical background, scientific investigations, anecdotal reports, and theoretical frameworks to argue the reality of telekinesis. Historical background: ancient myths and folklore. Telekinesis in various forms can be traced back to ancient myths and folklore. Many cultures have stories of individuals with extraordinary powers. In ancient Greece, stories of gods and demigods performing miraculous feats included manipulating objects with their minds. Similar tales can be found in Hindu mythology, where sages and ascetics possess siddhis or supernatural abilities, one of which is moving objects without physical means. Medieval and Renaissance periods. During the medieval period, tales of witchcraft and sorcery often included telekinetic abilities. Witches were believed to be able to move objects, cause harm, or even fly using their mental powers. The Renaissance period saw a resurgence of interest in the mystical and the occult, with figures like John Dee and Paracelsus exploring the boundaries of the natural and supernatural, including the possibility of mental influence over matter. 19th and early 20th centuries. The late 19th and early 20th centuries marked the beginning of systematic scientific inquiry into telekinesis. The rise of spiritualism, with its seances and mediumistic phenomena, brought telekinesis into the public eye. Pioneering researchers like J.B. Rhine at Duke University conducted experiments to test the validity of psychokinesis, using dice rolling and other controlled methods to detect any influence of mind over matter. Scientific investigations. Parapsychology and experimental evidence. Parapsychology is the field of study concerned with investigating paranormal phenomena, including telekinesis. J.B. Rhine's work at Duke University in the 1930s and 1940s laid the groundwork for experimental research in this area. Rhine's experiments involved participants attempting to influence the outcomes of dice rolls or random number generators, with statistically significant results suggesting a potential psychokinetic effect. More recently, researchers have used more sophisticated technologies, such as electronic random event generators, REGs, to test for psychokinetic effects. Studies conducted by the Princeton Engineering Anomalies Research PEER program found that participants could influence the output of REGs beyond what would be expected by chance. Although these findings are controversial and have faced criticism for methodological flaws, they have nonetheless provided intriguing data that warrant further investigation. Quantum mechanics and consciousness. The development of quantum mechanics in the 20th century introduced new theoretical possibilities for telekinesis. Quantum entanglement and the observer effect suggest that consciousness may play a fundamental role in the behavior of subatomic particles. Some theorists propose that if consciousness can influence particles at the quantum level, it might also be able to exert macroscopic effects, such as moving objects. Physicist Henry Stapp has argued that the mind's ability to affect quantum states could provide a basis for psychokinetic phenomena. While this remains a highly speculative area of research, it opens up a potential scientific framework for understanding how telekinesis could operate. Anecdotal evidence and case studies. Documented cases. There are numerous documented cases of telekinesis throughout history, often reported by credible witnesses. One of the most famous cases is that of Nina Kulagina, a Russian woman who purportedly demonstrated psychokinetic abilities under controlled conditions. During the 1960s and 1970s, Kulagina was observed moving small objects such as matchsticks and compass needles without touching them. Her demonstrations were filmed and studied by Soviet scientists, although skeptics argue that trickery cannot be entirely ruled out. Spontaneous PK and poltergeist activity. Spontaneous psychokinesis, PK, is often reported in conjunction with poltergeist activity, where objects move inexplicably and other physical disturbances occur without apparent cause. Researchers such as William G. Roll have documented numerous poltergeist cases, suggesting that they may be manifestations of unconscious psychokinetic abilities, often centered around individuals undergoing psychological stress or trauma. Personal accounts and testimonials. Many individuals claim to have experienced telekinesis personally or witnessed it firsthand. These accounts, while anecdotal, contribute to the body of evidence supporting the reality of telekinesis. Personal testimonials often describe objects moving without physical intervention during moments of intense concentration or emotional upheaval. While such reports lack the rigor of scientific validation, their consistency across cultures and time periods is noteworthy. Theoretical frameworks. Mind-matter interaction models. Various theoretical models have been proposed to explain how telekinesis might operate. One approach is the mind-matter interaction model, which posits that consciousness can directly influence physical systems. This model draws on principles from both classical and quantum physics, suggesting that the mind can exert a force on physical objects through mechanisms that are not yet fully understood. Field theories. Field theories propose that telekinesis operates through an as-yet undiscovered energy field generated by the mind. This field interacts with physical objects, causing them to move. Some researchers have drawn parallels between this hypothetical field and known physical fields such as electromagnetic or gravitational fields. While there is no direct evidence for such a field, it provides a conceptual framework for exploring telekinetic phenomena. Psi and information theory. Psi, a term used in parapsychology to denote psychic phenomena including telekinesis, has been explored through the lens of information theory. This approach suggests that information, rather than energy, is the key to understanding psi phenomena. According to this view, telekinesis involves the transfer of information from the mind to the target object, resulting in physical movement. This theory aligns with the idea that consciousness plays a fundamental role in the structure of reality. Challenges and skepticism. Methodological issues. One of the primary challenges in studying telekinesis is ensuring rigorous experimental controls to rule out fraud, error, and bias. Critics argue that many reported instances of telekinesis can be explained by trickery, faulty methodology, or confirmation bias. Ensuring reproducibility and peer review are crucial for establishing the credibility of telekinetic phenomena. The skeptical perspective. Prominent skeptics, such as James Randi, have offered substantial monetary rewards for anyone who can demonstrate telekinesis under controlled conditions. Despite numerous attempts, no one has successfully claimed these prizes. Skeptics argue that the lack of reliable, reproducible evidence under strict conditions undermines the claim that telekinesis is real. Scientific paradigms and resistance. The dominant scientific paradigm, which emphasizes materialism and physical causality, often dismisses telekinesis as pseudoscience. This resistance is partly due to the lack of a plausible mechanism that fits within the current understanding of physics. However, scientific paradigms have shifted before, and proponents of telekinesis argue that a more open-minded approach could lead to breakthroughs. Conclusion. The question of whether telekinesis is real remains unresolved, but it continues to captivate the human imagination and inspire scientific inquiry. Historical accounts, anecdotal evidence, and experimental research provide a compelling, if controversial, case for the reality of telekinesis. Advances in science and a more open-minded approach to the mysteries of consciousness and reality may one day provide the answers we seek. Until then, the exploration of telekinesis challenges our understanding of the mind and its potential, reminding us that the boundaries of what we consider possible are constantly evolving.